You are my fire, the one desire. Okay, that is enough of that. I started this show that way because I hear people talking about the Backstreet Boys, Taylor Swift, The Fray, many other pop artists as their guilty pleasure. And I don't think you need to feel guilt for things that you find pleasure in. So this episode of the Explore Inspired Show, is all about why you need to stop faking your interests to fit in. We're going to touch on guilty pleasures and peer pressure. I'm Jonathan Ronzio. Let's go. To give you an idea of what kind of planning goes into these episodes on a week-to-week basis, it's really not a whole lot. I have some topics that could be episodes mapped out on a Trello board, but these things change, and I kind of just prepare a few minutes before I hit record here. And this one, actually, a few days ago, I had posted an Insta story where I was talking about why I don't watch football. And we'll get into that in a bit, but from that story, one of our viewers, who also follows me on Instagram, Marcus, he messaged me, and so I'll show you right here. This is Marcus. That's his handle. Go follow him. Good guy. And so he had messaged me talking about just how people fake interest to feel part of the in crowd, and how it feels actually more empowering to not be a part of it, and how he learned that, and said that he would love to hear my take on that issue and just how to deal with peer pressure. So that is why I'm talking about that right here. So if there's a topic that you would like to hear my take on, I'm absolutely more than happy to chat about it. Just shoot me a message on Instagram at Jonathan Ronzio or at Explore Inspired, and we'll dig into this. But today, thanks to Marcus, we are talking about learning to love the parts of you that don't fit in, and that are a little different, and how actually embracing that will help you find your people, help you find your confidence, help you find your purpose, and your way, really, honestly. It is all about just embracing your true self. And the faster you let go of what you think you should be, what you think other people expect you to be, the quicker you just drop those, trying to live up to other people's expectations or perceptions, or trying to fit in based on other people's interests, the more space you will free up, and the more happiness you will find in your own life to do the things that really you love, that complete you, that make you smile every day and feel fulfilled. So to give you some context on where this topic started, I'm going to actually play the Insta story. I'm at Gillette right now, which is where the Patriots play. But I have to be honest, I have probably watched maybe 3 Patriots games in the last 4 years. It was fun to get together when everybody's gathering to watch a game, and you have some drinks and you get some food, and it's an event. That's cool. I like that. But I just would never plan my day around watching a game. I would just always rather go for a run, or go to the beach, or go for a hike, or go to the rock gym. Like there's just things I'd rather do than just sit down and watch a football game. But that's just me. I know a lot of people love it. I guess in the end, what it comes down to for me, and why I don't watch football or really any other sports, is does the outcome of the game, no matter the team, really affect my life in any way? And the answer is no. Unless I had money on the game, which I don't gamble, or if I knew somebody playing, which I don't, then that team, winning or losing, is not going to affect the trajectory of my life. And I would rather put my time into things that will. And that is I know, an unpopular opinion, because the majority of America and the world is really passionate about their sports teams. Which I understand. I grew up in Chicago during the Jordan Dynasty, and I was too. But I'm just not anymore. To each their own, right? Different strokes for different folks, as my friend Dan always says. Now, me living in Boston, which is a huge sports city between like the Red Sox and the Patriots and the Bruins and the Celtics, like all great teams. And like I said in the video, I enjoy going to the bar for a big game with a bunch of people, or like to a Super Bowl party or whatever it's gonna be. That's fun. But as far as me following the team or following the sport, it is just not ever been a priority. But there was always a strain for me, because like if I went on a business meeting, or was golfing, or even just getting a haircut, like so much small talk relies on, did you see the game? or like people talking about what's going on in sports. It's just a way that people, just like the weather, a way that people expect you can connect. But for me, it's not like the weather, because I know what the weather's doing. I don't know who just got drafted, latest pick on the Celtics, right? I have no idea. I don't follow these things. And for a while, I would fake interest in the conversation. I would fake that I knew what they were talking about, or chime in with a little nugget of something that I did know. So I looked like I followed, and that just it felt so fake, but it felt necessary. And finally, I realized that, you know what, it's not worth my time, and if I value these connections, then they better see me for who I am. Like, I really think that better connections are built off of honesty. And so if, whether it was business or friendship or whatever, like, I think that people need to see the real you. And so when I started being honest about the fact that, whatever, I don't follow it. I didn't watch it. Oh, that's cool, but I don't care. Like, when I started being honest about my I guess feelings on the topic, or my lack of knowledge on the topic, I was right. Better connections were built because I was able to sift through the people that I genuinely would have a strong bond with based on shared experiences or likes or life goals and all that. So. And then sifted out the people that I wouldn't share amazing connections with and conversations with, because we just didn't care about the same things. And the faster you can get to that point, the better you are, the more steps that you have ahead of other people. It is okay if you don't like sports, or it is okay if you don't drink or do drugs. It is okay if you're gay, or alternatively, it's perfectly fine if you love football and drink beer and are totally straight. Like, the point of it is that what you do and don't do will define your pursuits based on the priorities of your actions, your conversations, and so you got to be as true as you can to you. Be you, do you, and the rest will fall into place. Now, just like I struggled with sports, through high school and college and even some business situations, feeling like I had to fake interest in these topics and these teams, I felt that when I was really just starting getting into the outdoors as well. When I was starting to love going hiking and love going rock climbing, that really flourished for me in college. And really nobody else in my school was really into that. Like, there was the ski club, and a lot of people would love to go skiing and snowboarding. That was great. But in my school, at least in my friend group, maybe there were people at my school, but I didn't know them. But in my friend group, I couldn't get anybody to go rock climbing with me. They would just want to, drink and watch the game. And I would do that sometimes, but it felt like such a struggle to get, to try and convince people to go to the rock gym. And that's, something clicked a couple years after that like, if I have to convince you, if I have to beg you, if I have to say I'll even like pay for your entry to come with, that is just not worth it. That's not the person that you want with you. You want somebody who's going to be as stoked about climbing or whatever it is for you. You want somebody to share that level of excitement and anticipation for the experience, and not have to drag somebody along trying to convince them that they're going to like it when they've already formulated an opinion in their mind that it's not a priority for them. Maybe they will like it, but maybe it's just not what they care about doing, and that's not where they want to spend their money. And so that, like, a very clear line was drawn in the sand for me when I started to see, like, I would rather spend $20 at the rock gym than spend $20 buying a couple beers at some bar late on a Friday night and standing around crowded, like, while people were drunk and bumping into you. Like, I just saw those as two different experiences, and looked at the opportunity cost and saw that I would rather go to the gym. I'd rather climb than go stand around a bar. And when I started making those decisions and being honest to myself about wanting those experiences instead, about prioritizing where my money and time and effort was going, it certainly put some strain on some friendships in my life. And I still have some really, really deep, amazing old connections with some old friends, but they're absolutely not, along the same lines that they were 5, 10 years ago when all we shared was those experiences of going out, of having fun, of going to parties, and when you start to choose different paths, when you start to embrace who you really want to become, and you make those distinctions, and there's only so much time that you have, and it seems like it just continues to dwindle, how much time we have in the day, and you start to prioritize what you want to do, and where your priorities go, that defines your pursuits. When you look at history, the vast majority of artists, of entrepreneurs, of innovators that have changed the world have been different. They have gone against the social norms. They have channeled their creative differences and had the courage to stand out. Because that's powerful when you do stand out and you embrace what makes you unique, what makes you different. So that's the big takeaway here is, when you're confronted with situations of peer pressure, of trying to fake it to fit in, just learn to love what makes you different. Learn to embrace the parts of you that don't fit in, because that is how you find your people and your purpose and your passion. That's how you find your way. That's where the real pursuits that are going to make a difference in your life and in others' lives, that are going to fulfill you in the long run, that is where you find it. And so whether it's, just having the confidence to own your guilty / stop being guilty about them pleasures, like the Backstreet Boys or whatever that might be for you, just be honest about who you are. And the quicker you can just dump your inhibitions and own yourself and really embrace what makes you unique, the quicker you will find success in your path. So that's it for this episode of the Explore Inspired Show. You've just got to go do you. You've got to go your way. You've got to find your tribe. And it will all happen when you stop faking what you're interested in order to fit in. When you stop succumbing to peer pressure because you want to be part of the in crowd. When you stop shying away from the things that make you happy because you're afraid of what other people will think. That is the lesson of today. I hope you liked it. If you did, if you connected with it, if it meant anything to you, please comment, share, subscribe, whatever. Your help getting these messages out there means the world. And the more that we can have that ripple effect of other people seeing this, the more we can have people like Marcus commenting and engaging in a conversation that I can then bring up into a topic and talk about. And then we go with that cycle. And a community is born, right? Just like you will start embracing your message, your realness, and build your own community. So let's make that happen. Thanks again for tuning in to the Explore Inspired Show, and have an awesome week. See you next Friday.